हेलो ऑल माय डियर स्टूडेंट्स, हाउ आर यू ऑल? कैसे हैं आप सब लोग? हम शुरू कर सकते हैं क्या? साउंड चेक, ऑडियो चेक, वीडियो चेक एंड स्क्रीन चेक. All good? Okay, guys. So, in the last lecture, we have discussed a lot in detail about the trial balance and the final accounts. Okay, there was some technical issue due to which our class was interrupted in the last video, but now we are going to sum it up and complete that topic. Okay, so everybody ready? Come on, just give me a thumbs up and I will quick start the topic. Are you ready, बच्चा लोग? Okay, so what we have our question which was given some time back, but now we have the time to complete it with all effects, a 360-degree view of accounting, what we need to do in your real life as well. Okay, so now we are going to convert our thoughts into reality. That's what accounting is when we talk about the financial aspect of every transaction. Okay, so we have some transactions where the owner has introduced some of the capital in the form of various things: cash account, bank account, furniture, and land and building. These all were debited because these all were assets. Okay, and then we have to credit the capital account because this were transferred to the capital account. This was introduced in the form of capital. Okay, then we have purchased goods of rupees 30,000 for which one third was payment upfront and two-third was paid after 2 months. Okay, so two-third was payment after 2 months that was due to Mr. Y. So whatever is purchased, that is purchases account debit with 30,000 we did, and whatever is paid upfront, that is rupees 10,000. So to cash 10,000, to Mr. Y 20,000, which is the balance amount which will be paid after 2 months. Then sold goods to Mr. X, that is X account debit 90,000. X will give me the money, so X is a debtor, that is an asset. Okay, and to sales account 90,000. Then we have the rent paid 20,000 by check, 50% belongs to the next year. So rent account debit 10,000 for the, that is the expense for the current year. Prepaid expense account debit, yeah, prepaid rent account debit 10,000, that is the expense of the following year. And to bank account, that is 20,000 because it is paid by check. And lastly, salary due but not paid, that is salary expense account debited rupees 25,000 to outstanding salary. Why outstanding salary and why not cash or bank? Because it is not paid yet. When it will be paid, then only cash and bank account will be debited. So those are the very, very basic concepts which we have learned all across the topics till now. Then what we did, we prepare our ledger accounts. First what we did, first we made the journal entries. Journal entries are made in what? Your subsidiary books. Journal entries are made in what? Your subsidiary books. Then what we did, we prepared the ledger accounts. Then we have the ledger accounts. And how we know the ledger accounts? Obviously, whenever a transaction is taking place, right? Whenever a transaction is taking place in your subsidiary books, it will have corresponding effect in their ledger accounts. So if cash account is debited, so we will have a cash ledger where we will debit the cash account. Why we are doing it, debiting the cash account or crediting the cash account? Because we need to calculate the balance at the year end or the after the period end. So when we calculate the balance, we prepare a trial balance. What we prepare? A trial balance. See guys, when we were kids, we were used to play cricket, and before starting the match, we asked the other team player, if I am batting first, so we asked the other team player to give a trial ball first. So what is the trial ball? It is nothing but all your balances from your ledger account into one table. Okay, what is your trial balance? It is balances from all the ledger accounts into one table, and that table will be used to prepare your financial accounts, that is your balance sheet and profit and loss account. Okay, so this is what we have taught till now. यहाँ तक हमने पढ़ लिया था. And now we are going to move ahead. Okay, so now what we have done, see, here we have cash account in front of you on your screens. You can see that 60,000 was brought in as your capital. Okay, 60,000 cash was introduced as a capital, so that is the total of your debit side. But how much payments we have made out of this cash? We have paid 10,000 for purchase of goods and nothing else. So if I have got 60,000, out of which 10,000 is paid, so balance amount is 50,000. This balance is remaining. Answer is yes. This is a debit balance or a credit balance. So remember one rule in your mind, always and always remember this rule. Wherever you write the carried down balance, on whatever side you write the carried down balance, on the opposite side it should be posted in the trial balance. Sir, what do you mean by that? I will just show you. Just go to the trial balance format. We will go to the trial balance format. Okay. So we will prepare the trial balance. For example, this is the books of A Limited. Yeah, in the books of Mr. A for the period ended. So two things are common in the books of Mr. A. For the period ended 31st December 2023. That is the heading which we give before starting the trial balance. Okay. Now, what are the columns which we need in our trial balance? So first column should be your particulars. Okay, you can take the serial number just for your reference, but that is not necessary. Okay. But first column should be your particulars. So where it is given in our books of in our books notes, go to beta your page number 97. That is the starting of your topic called trial balance. You can see the format which is given downside. You can see the particulars, that is your account name, right? Then we have the debit side and the credit side, and we have the trial balance as on, that is for the period ended. Yeah. I will give you one format. See, here on your page number 107, if you see a format, there is a trial balance mentioned. Trial balance of Mr. Sen as on 31st of March 2019. So in this case, we have mentioned trial balance instead of for the period and it just mentioned as on 31st of December 2023. So why you have made this correction? The answer to it is because we are preparing the trial balance at a particular date. That is why we are mentioning as on. The P&L, the profit and loss account, that is made for the whole year. So there we write the for the period ended. Here we just mentioned as on 31st of December or as at 31st of December 2023. So that is the basic format of writing your trial balance, where we have your first column as particulars, or we can say it account name, because particulars are nothing but your account names. And then we have this column is also optional, that is called ledger folio number, LF. Leisure folio number. This is also not necessarily mentioned in all the trial balances. Okay, this is an optional column. Then we have amount debit, one column, and we have amount credit. These are the important column. The amount column are the most important one. So we have the most important column as particulars, amount debit, and amount credit. Okay. So these three are the essential part of your trial balance. You cannot miss any of those columns. Now, let us put the information from our ledger accounts to your trial balances. Okay, let's do that exercise. So first account, what was our first account? We had the first account as cash account. Okay, we had our first account as cash account. What I can do, I can switch two tabs so that would be easy to scroll up. 1 second. Okay. So now on this tab, I have the trial balance. On this tab, we have the trial balance, and on the another tab, we have all the ledger account. Now see whatever I am doing, you have to do the same in this case. Let's do it. First, if you see the cash account, where the balance is coming as by balance carried down, it is coming on the credit side. How much is the balance? 50,000. What I will do in my trial balance, I will write here my first account, that is cash account. That is my cash account. Okay. What is the amount in debit or credit? So here we have the balance on the credit side. So in the trial balance, I will write on the debit side. So while we are writing the debit side, see the logic. Why we have mentioned the amount on the credit side? Because we have to balance both the side. I have a cash of 60,000 rupees, out of which only 10,000 has been spended. So 60,000 is debited, 10,000 is credited. So if I deduct the debit and credit, what will I left with? 60,000 debit and 10,000 credit. That is the two transactions which are in my your cash account. So what is the net balance? So 10,000 being deducted from 60,000. So now I have a 50,000 rupees debit balance. So whenever you see a balance carried down, that means the opposite side you have to mention in your trial balance. So what I say, cash account has a debit balance, not a credit, because the balance carried down is written on the credit side. So what I will say, the cash account has a debit balance of 50,000, and that is why I will write 50,000 on the amount debit column. Am I clear, everyone? Is it clear? Any doubts? Sir, in books, the format is given a slightly different. So, dear, it is not a standard one. Okay. In many books, authors use various columns. So if you see here, if you see this example, so what they have done, they have mentioned the debit side on the left, the credit side on the right. Okay, now what we can do, we can merge those debit and credit and use a single trial balance that is internationally accepted. We are not going just by the theoretical aspects, not what given in your books, but by the international aspect. And it is also given in the format upside. I will just scroll it up for you. See, this is the journal form of your trial balance where you write the serial number, you have your name of accounts, you have your ledger folios, the debit balance and the credit balance. This is the standard format which is used across. Clear? I think the screen is loading a bit slow, but yeah, just bear with it. Okay, now I have to go back to my trial balance. So cash is an asset, obviously, and asset has a debit balance. So that is the reason it is having a debit balance. Okay, that is the reason. You can apply your accounting concepts, which we have learned in the beginning of our sessions. You have three golden rules of accounts. The first one being the real account rule, that is debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So how much cash has been coming in? 60,000. How much has gone out? 10,000. So net, how much is left? 50,000. And what is that 50,000 that is come in that I have presently? So that is why it is a debit. You can apply that logic also. Okay. All things are based on logic. But if you are not able to apply the logic, learn simple tricks, which I tell you. For example, here what I said, if the balance is on the credit, write on the debit side of the trial balance. That is the simple rule. Let's go to another. Acha, kaun sa balance? Which balance we have to see? The carried down balance. Okay, there is one more balance which is brought down, which we will do in the next year. That will be on the opposite side. Okay, but you have to see the carried down balance. What we have now, we have the next as A's capital account. So A's capital account on the credit side, there is a total of 4 lakhs. Obviously, there would be 4 lakh total on the debit side as well. Now, balance carried down is written over here, that is 4 lakh. So it is written on the debit side. So what side I need to put on the trial balance? Everyone, come on, tell me on what side should I mention the A's capital account on my trial balance? Everyone, tell me the answer. Everyone. Which side of the trial balance will my A's capital account should be seeing this ledger account? So balance carried down is coming on the debit side of the ledger account. So in trial balance, it will be shown under, very good, the credit side. That is 4 lakh rupees. Next account we have the bank account. How much, where is the balance? So I can see the balance carried down is given over here. It is on the credit side. So what I will do, I will write it on the opposite side in my trial balance. That is the bank account. How much? It is 80,000 rupees. So what I have done, I have mentioned it on the opposite side. Now let's go to the fourth account. Fourth account we have furniture account. You can see where is the balance? It is on the credit side. So I will write on the opposite side in my trial balance. How much is the balance? 40,000. So it is furniture account with 40,000 as a debit balance. What I call this? This is called debit balance. And what this is called? It is called a credit balance. Okay. Now we have to fill up this all trial balances based on our question which was given earlier. Okay, next we have land and building account. I will go to the next account, which is land and building. We have the balance as carried down and how much it is, 2 lakh on the credit side. So obviously on our trial balance, what we will do, we will have land and building account because it was mentioned on the credit side. Here I have mentioned on the debit side. Okay, next, now we will do it a little bit faster. So if you see the purchases account, okay, purchases account, we have not done the total because the class was interrupted in the last video, but now let's do the total. On the debit side, you can see there is cash account, vice capital account. What is the total of the debit side? Sir, it is 30,000, 10,000 plus 20,000. So the credit of, so this side also should have a total of 30,000. So what I can do at the year end, that is 31st of December 23, I can do by balance carried down. By balance carried down. Usually, as it is a purchase account, which means it is the goods purchase, that is an expenses incurred. We use it the we use the trading account instead of balance carried down. Okay, we use the trading account in place of balance carried down. So why we use the trading account? Because this balance, this account balance is transferred to the trading account, which will be used in your P&L. That is the closing entries which we need to do. Right now, that topic is not covered. Okay, so closing entry we need to do. But for now, just understand that all the trading and P&L accounts are transferred to those respective accounts. Okay. Sir, why nominal accounts does not have an opening entry? Because these all are closed and transferred to one figure that is called profit. And that profit is added to your capital. So every nominal account closes. All the income and expenses square off each other. Whatever is more, if the income is more and expenses are less, we get the profit. And that profit is finally added. So I think that answers your question. Other question, if expenses are more, the income is less, we will have a loss and that will transfer to your balance sheet again as a loss. Okay, when we will prepare the trial balance. So trial balance will be prepared only and only when the period is closed, when we close our books of accounts. That is the last day of your period. Okay, obviously I can prepare it on any day. Any day can be a date of your trial balance, but usually in our accounts, it is prepared on the last day of the financial year or of the period ended. It may be a month, it may be a week, it may be a quarter, it may be a half a year, or it may be a full year. So any day you can prepare your trial balance. That is the closing of your books. We can do the closing of your books. Okay, moving on. So we have here what we have mentioned here, by trading account 30,000, that is the balancing figure. So again, the balance is on the credit side. So what I will do in my trial balance, sixth purchases account, that is 30,000. I will write on the opposite side 30,000. Next we have Y's account. Who was Y? That is, he was my creditor, and creditor is a liability which will come in your balance sheet. So this will be to balance carried down on 31st of December 23, and amount would be 20,000 because on the credit side total is 20,000. So Mr. Y account has a credit balance of 20,000. So I will write on the credit side of the trial balance. This is my creditor, 20,000. Next, we have sales account, that is again your part of trading account. So I will do to trading account. How much is the amount? 90,000 on the credit side. So the balance will come here in my ledger accounts on the debit side. So if the balance is coming on the debit side on my ledger, I will write it on the credit side in my trial balance, sales account, 90,000. Next, Mr. X. Who is Mr. X? He's the person whom I have sold the goods. So he will pay me the money. So he's the debtor. He is the debtor. He owes me money. He owes me money means he has to pay me money. I owe money means what? I have to pay money. Okay. So here this will be by balance carried down because it is a balance sheet item. Both the side the total would be 90,000 and here also 90,000. What date? It will be 31st of December 23. So 90,000 appearing in the credit side of the ledger. What I will do? I will write it on the debit side here. X account, who is my debtor, 90,000 rupees. Then we have a rent account. So rent is an expense. It is a profit and loss item. It is an expense. Okay. So this will be transferred to BRI profit and loss account on 31st of December 23. 10,000 rupees and our total will be 10,000 on both sides. So here you can see on the ledger account, the balance is coming on the credit side. What I will do in my trial balance, I will write it on the debit side. Rent account, that is 10,000. Next, we have a prepaid rent account. What does prepaid rent account means? That account where we have we have paid the rent for the coming year, but the benefits has not been received. So whenever the benefit will be received, we will expense it off. But right now it is just being paid, but benefit I will get in it in the next year. So this is a balance sheet item. What I will do here, by balance carried down on 31st of December 23, that is of 10,000 rupees. In the ledger, you can see the balance is on the credit side. So what I will do on my trial balance here, I will write on the debit side. That is the prepaid rent account. It is an asset and asset always has the debit balance. We have already learned this. So if I buy a asset, asset will be debited. If I sell a asset, it will be credited. Okay. Do let me know if there are any doubts. And if everything is clear, just write clear, sir. Okay. Next we have our salary account. So what does salary account means here? Salary account is an expense account. So here on the 31st of December 23, this will be transferred to what? My P&L account. How much? What is the total on the debit side? That is 25,000. So I will do the balancing on the credit side, that is 25,000, so that my ledger account matches. So do we need to match all the ledger account? The answer is yes. So I have a credit side 25,000 of salary account. So I will write on the debit side in my trial balance. Salary account. Then we have 13th. That is outstanding salary. So outstanding salary is that something which we have not paid yet, which we have not paid yet. So this is a liability and this will be paid in the future. This will be paid in future. So what I will do on 31st of December 23, I will write it as not by to balance carried down, that is 25,000. I will do the totals. It is 25,000 here and 25,000 here. So I have a balance on the debit side. What I will do, I will write on the credit side in my trial balance. That is the outstanding salary account. that is 25,000. So after this, my all accounts are cleared. My all accounts are cleared. There is no account left. So what I will do now? So the trial balance is your complete, but only thing left is the last part of it. That is the total. What is the total of your trial balance? Now the total should be match the debit balance and the credit balance. If it is not matching, there is some error which you have committed, whether in posting the journal entries to your ledger or taking the balances from your ledger account to your trial balance. If it is not matching, then there is a problem. So let's see that whether we have matched it across or not. Everybody calculate the total of the debit side and the credit side. Tell me what is the total on the debit and credit side. Just check it out, everyone. Give me the total. So what is the total on the debit side? 530,000. And what is the total on the credit side, everyone? Is it the same? If it is same, then our whole question is correct. If it is not same, then there is a problem. We have to recheck what we have done. Just confirm, everyone, if these are tallied. Clear, sir. Matching. Perfect. So this is the trial balance which we have prepared from our all leisure accounts. From our all leisure accounts. This is how we prepare a trial balance. Okay, so if given many items, what I need to do, I need to identify the nature of these and I can post it in my trial balance. Okay, so now let's go to the notes. I will give you some accounts. Now you have to tell me what should be the balance. In the trial balance, what side they should be written and the logic behind it. So if I have a cash in hand, what side it should be ideally? Come on, everyone, just try. Sir, the cash in hand is an asset and asset have the debit balance. So if you assets on the right, there is given the reasons why it is on that particular side. So we will have a glance of all the accounts one by one so that you are able to understand how many accounts are there and how what side we need to write on the trial balance. So see, everyone. So we have a cash in hand account, that was the first, that should have a debit balance because it is an asset. Then we have cash at bank. It will also be debit balance because it is an asset. So now I'm talking about just the general things you already know about it, but some account may be new. So cash at bank, overdrawn. What do you mean by overdrawn? I have 100 rupees in my bank account. I have 100 rupees in my bank account, but this is my balance as of now. But the bank has imposed some charges of 250 rupees. Bank has imposed some charges of 250 rupees. Now what is the balance in my account? It is negative 150. So I will say my bank balance is overdrawn by rupees 150. My bank balance is overdrawn by rupees 150. So that is why it is a liability. I need to pay this 150 rupees to the bank. So what I will do, this is the liability. Liability is on the credit side. It is on the credit side. So that is the reason behind it. Okay, you can check it here. Then we have bank overdraft. That is the loan which we have taken. The overdraft facility from the bank. That is again a liability. So it is on your credit side. What is capital? Capital is the funds of the owner. We have to return that. So it is also a liability to the business credit side. Am I clear, everyone? Then we have the opening stock. Opening stock is nothing but the amount of goods which is present when we start our business. So it is an asset. It is an asset, or we can say the debit side of our profit and loss account. Sorry, debit side of your trial balance. We can have both. One question has just arrived, that can the bank balance be both debit and credit? The answer is yes. The bank balance can be debit or credit. But if the bank balance is overdrawn, then we will have a credit balance. That is a liability. If we have sufficient funds in our bank, that would be a debit balance. We have that as an asset. Okay. Next, the wages paid, it is an expense, so we debit all the expense and gains, credit the gains and income. Purchases, debit, because it is an expense. It may increase your stock, that is why here they have mentioned it is expense and it will increase our stock. Then carriage inwards, that is also expense, direct expense. So this is a trading item. All these are trading items. Carriage inward, purchases, wages, trading item, opening stock, it is also a trading account item. Freight, if it is freight inwards, freight is the transport payment which we have made for transportation of goods from one place to another. So this is also debited, it is also credit account. Royalty on production. What is royalty? That if I have given a formula for making a medicine, so for every medicine being produced, I need to pay a royalty to that person for who has given me the formula. So that is also a expense related to our goods. It will come in our trading account. Gas, water, fuel, that is also trading account because these are direct expenses to your goods. Then we have power, import duty, sales. Everything here is a trading account. Power, import duty, and sales. Debit, debit, debit. No, the sales would be credited. Sales would be credited because it is an income. Sales would be credited because it is an income. Then we have discount allowed. I have given discount, so that is an expense. I will debit that. Discount received, that is an income. Credit because it is an income. Bad dates. Sir, what do you mean by bad dates? For example, if I have to take 100 rupees from a person, but he is not ready to give me, he is not ready to give me. So I have lost all my faith that my 100 rupees is gone. There was a debtor who needs to give me 100 rupees. Now he has not given me that. So now I will expense it off because it is my loss. So that is why I will write it as bad debt. Bad debt. He was not a good debt. Why it was not a good debt? Because he has not paid me the money. It is a bad debt. So bad debt is nothing but your expense. So from discount allowed, everything is related to your profit and loss account. This is profit and loss account. This will also come in your profit and loss account. Then if we are creating a provision for doubtful debt, we are creating a provision for doubtful debt. That is the opening figure. Like for example, I have to take 100 rupees from Mr. X and I am doubtful that whether he will give me or not. So I have created a provision. I have created a provision that this amount may be lost. This amount may be lost. So that is also a liability as of now. This will become an expense when this is actually lost. So that is the reason it will come in the credit side. Okay, this is a, they have mentioned it as gains, but I will say it is an income or gain. Okay, then we have commission received. If you have received the commission, that is again an income for you. It will be credited as an income. Salary is an expense, debited. Commission paid is again debited because it is an expense. Rent, rates and taxes, it is also debited because these are all expense. Repair and maintenance, debit, expense. Insurance premium paid, expense, debit. Carriage outward, expense. So everything, all these items are the profit and loss item. This will be mentioned in your P&L account. We have more list of items, around 3+ pages. We have all the expenses or the list of gains or the different account which should come. Okay, so now this is an homework for all of you. Just have a look because whenever we will prepare, we will come across these accounts. So just see on the account name and then judge whether it should be a debit balance or it should be a credit balance and what is the reason behind it. If all the accounts which you have seen here are matching, your concepts are very, very clear. If not, do ask me. I will tell you the reason and then we can discuss about it and clear your doubts. Okay. So what is the difference between provision and reserve? That is also something which will come ahead. We will discuss it. Don't worry. Okay. Now let's do an example. Let's do as an example which is given in your books. From the ledger account balances, prepare a trial balance of Mr. Sen for the year ended 31st of March 2019. So we have given capital 80,000. So capital is what? A liability where we will write on the credit side. So this trial balance is what format? This is another format. We have a debit side and we have a credit side. So we will write all the credit accounts here and the credit amount. We will write all the debit amount here and the debit account. Okay, so capital account, what it is 80,000. It is credited. Sales account 10 lakhs. So sales is also credited. It is mentioned on the credit side. Then we have adjusted purchase. Adjusted purchase means purchase minus purchase return. So it is your purchases. It is an expense mentioned on your debit side. Then we have current account credit balance. They have mentioned current account credit balance. That means your bank account is overdrawn by 10,000. So current account 10,000. We have mentioned it over here. Then we have petty cash rupees 10,000. So we have a cash of 10,000. If we have cash, that is an asset, 10,000 debited. Sales ledger balance of rupees 1,20,000. So sales is what? Sales ledger balance. Sales ledger balance is something that we have sold goods, but on credit basis. But on what? Credit basis. So these are nothing but your debtors, and debtors are your assets. So 1,20,000 would be mentioned on your debit side. In the same way, if you have a purchase ledger balance, so these are all my creditors, and 60,000 will come under my liability as the purchase ledger balance. Then we have salaries 24,000, that is an expense. So salaries is mentioned 24,000. Carriage inwards 4,000, that is also an expense 4,000. Carriage outward expense, that would be 6,000. I think they have missed it. Yes, I cannot find it here. So there would be, yeah, okay. They have mentioned it over here, but they have missed the amount. So it would be carriage outward 6,000. Okay, that is a misprint in your book. Carriage outward 6,000. Then discount allowed 10,000. So discount allowed 10,000 is mentioned. Building 80,000 asset debit. Outstanding expenses is a liability 10,000 credited. Then we have prepaid insurance, that is an asset 2,000. Depreciation. What do you mean by depreciation? For example, this also we have a separate full chapter of depreciation, but obviously I have to give you a brief for depreciation. What is a depreciation? Depreciation is a expense. Why it is an expense? Because this represents fall in value of fixed tangible asset. Fall in value of fixed tangible asset. For example, if I have purchased a bike, HD bike. So what is HD bike? That is Harley Davidson. Okay. Harley Davidson I have purchased and it is a very good bike. I have purchased it for 10 lakh rupees. I have purchased the bike for how much? 10 lakh rupees. I have just purchased that bike. If I sell this bike after 2 years, if I sell this bike, can I sell it in the same 10 lakhs? Give me the answer. Can I sell it in the same amount as a 10 lakh? The answer is no. Why no? Because when I purchased it, it was brand new. But now I have used this for a period of 2 years. So this value of the bike will reduce on the basis of its use. Okay, what I said, the value of the bike will reduce on the basis of its use. So our accounting principle says if there are any expenses or any fall in market value of your bike, so you should account for it. So how I do this accounting? I do with the help of depreciation. So every year, whenever my bike is being used, okay, the bike is being used, I will depreciate that asset. That means I will reduce the value of that asset. So earlier it was 10 lakhs. Let's say, let's say 10 lakh was the value. It can be used for 10 years maximum. Let's say it can be used for 10 years. So every year 1 lakh rupees value will reduce. This is one method of depreciation which is called straight line method. Okay, so 1 lakh my value will reduce. So after 1 year, the balance of bike would be 9 lakh. 1 lakh would be charged as a depreciation. So depreciation nothing but that is the fall in market value of our asset or fall in value of your asset by the common wear and tear. Okay, common wear and tear or obsolescence, right? Or the normal accidental damages. Because obviously, if I use my bike, there would be some scratches on it. There would be little bit damages, not the bigger damages that the engine is blown off. No, that is a very abnormal thing. Okay. So accidental damages would happen. There would be some normal wear and tear. Okay. And there would be some obsolescence because obsolescence means what? Because after a period of time, the technology changes. The technology changes. So due to that change in technology, the market value of those assets reduce. For example, I will give you an example of an old TV. So we have a big TV. The monitor was very small, but the cabinet was very big. It was a cubicle cabinet. This was the only screen, but the back body of this was very big. This was called a cathode ray display TV. Okay, now these are all outdated. I will just show you one picture. 1 second. I will just give you some pictures from where you can see that how were the TVs which were used earlier. 1 second. By that you can understand that type of TV are not being used currently. Why it is not being used currently? Because we have a new version of TVs that are called the LCDs, LEDs. Okay, second. So if you can see, these are the CRT display TV, right? These have a long body and they were bulky, they were heavy. Okay, and these were very problematic earlier. Now this technology is very much outdated, not used in the common terms. Why it is not used in the common terms? Because we have a slim trim TVs. Now these are all outdated. These are now become obsolete. These are become obsolete, and that is the reason we are using a newer version of every TV. So over a period of time, the technology changes, and due to that change in technology, what we do, we keep reducing the value of old assets. We keep reducing the value of old assets. Okay. Okay. Let's say depreciation is something which we will talk about later on, but for now you can just understand it is an expense. So it will be mentioned on your debit side, 4,000 as a depreciation. Then cash at bank 80,000. So cash at bank 80,000. I have a loan of 66,000. So loan liability 66,000. Then a profit and loss account of 20,000 as a credit balance. In bracket they have mentioned it credit, so simply we have to credit it. It is an income. Okay. Then we have bad debts recovered. First, I thought there will be a person who will not pay me the money. So I have expensed it off. I have considered him as a bad debt. But now, out of nowhere, that person has won a lottery and he's paying me back. That means the bad debts are recovering. So that will be an income for me. Rupees 2,000. Then we have stock as on 31st of March 2019. Okay, so we are preparing the trial balance as of 31st of March 2019, and they have given me the stock on that date. So this is called the closing stock. This is called the closing stock. Always remember, the closing stock will not form the part of your trial balance. I will not write either on the debit side or on the credit side. There is a reason behind it. Okay, there is a reason behind it. But just for now, on this sake, I am writing, they have mentioned it on the debit side because it is an asset. Okay, I will give you the reasons, but for now, just understand the closing stock is not a part of your trial balance because it will be calculated later on. Okay, because it has two different effects. But for now, we have mentioned it on the debit side. Then we have interest received of 10,000. So interest is an income, that is credit 10,000. Accrued interest is an asset, that is interest due but not received, that is 4,000. Investment of 20,000, that is again an asset, so it will come on your debit side as 20,000. Provision for bad debt. Provision for bad debt is an reserve, that is always a liability. All the reserves and provisions are a liability. So this is an opening reserve, that is 6,000. I will write it on the credit side. And last, we have the general reserve, that is also a reserve on the credit side of your trial balance. So we have 20,000. Now do the total. All should match as 12,84,000. Just check it once. Everybody, check it out. I think now everybody is able to match it. Now let's go to the topic of closing stock. See, there they have given a note that closing stock will appear in the trial balance since there is an adjusted purchase. So this is the only case where we write the closing stock in the trial balance because we have the adjusted purchase. So what do you mean by the adjusted purchase? So my purchase is adjusted with your purchase less purchase returns, and this represents all my goods which have been used in my production. Okay, that is cost of goods sold. So we don't need to go very much deep inside this topic. There is very much things which I can tell, but obviously not relevant to our syllabus. So always remember, when we have the adjusted purchases, only then we will have a closing stock as part of my trial balance. Otherwise, it will not form part of my trial balance because this is an item which come after preparing the trial balance. Okay. So that was a bigger example which we did right now. Now let's move on. I will now prepare the profit and loss account in front of all of you for the transaction which we have already did. Okay, so let's get back to our example, our original example which we were looking at. Based on that example, what we will do, we are going to prepare a trading and profit and loss account so that all end-to-end areas are covered. I will extend this video for half hour extra because we have missed our half hour in the last session. Okay, so this is a 1.5 hour class. We have till 30 minutes more. Okay, 1 second, guys. If you want a break, you can take a 2 minutes break and just be after having your water. Okay, till the time I will connect my charger. Okay, guys, welcome back, everyone. So, as I said, now we are going to prepare the balance sheet and the P&L for the trial balance which we have prepared. Now, everyone, every eyes on the screen. On the basis of your trial balance, I'm going to prepare balance sheet and your profit and loss account. Just one extra information I am giving you that is always given after your trial balance. Please note, there is a closing stock of rupees 5,000. There is a closing stock of rupees 5,000. Now we will see what happens when we have a closing stock. Okay. Now I'm going to prepare a trading and profit and loss account. I'm going to prepare a trading and profit and loss account. Let's have a different type of page. 1 second. Yes, this one. So on the trading and P&L account, you will have four major columns. One debit side, one credit side. Then we have particulars, amount, particulars, and amount. As we are preparing the trading and P&L account, so on the top we will have the trading account and below that we will have the P&L account. So no need to create this line in your copies. Obviously this is understood, so that is why no line is created. Okay, let's go for the trading account first. But what I will suggest that practically whenever you are preparing your accounts, do all the things together. That means do the trial balance also, your profit and loss account also, and also prepare the balance sheet together with it. Because if you miss any one thing, then there will be a problem. Then there will be a problem. So I will also start with balance sheet. This is as at 31st of December 2023. So on the balance sheet, I will have one side as liability and amount, and other side as an asset and amount. These are the two major columns. On the left side as an a liability, on the right side as an asset. So this is called a T format balance sheet. This is called a T format balance sheet. Why T format? Because you can see this is the T they are talking about. On the left side, we have liabilities. On the right side, we have the trial balance. So that is why it is, sorry, on the right side, we have the assets. So that is the T format which they are talking about. Now, let me go back to my trial balance. What you can see as the first account, that is the cash account. Tell me everyone, whether the cash account is a asset, is a liability, it is an expense, or it is an income. Everyone, tell me what is cash? Sir, cash is an asset. Cash is an asset. Okay, I can use this cash. This can be used for multiple purposes. So this will come in my trading and P&L account, or it will come into my balance sheet. The answer, it will come into my balance sheet where we write the assets. So here I will make the first entry as cash. How much was the amount? It was 50,000 rupees. It was 50,000 rupees. So I have done the first entry. Sir, whether we need to do the two effects? No. For every item in your trial balance, there would be only one effect. One effect. Only and only one effect. Sir, why one effect? Because the other effect is already considered in some of the other account which we will post. Okay. Now let's go to the second account. Second account here, you can see that is the A's capital account. Second account is the A's capital account. So that is what? That is a liability. So I will write liability of 4 lakhs. That is A's capital. I will write it into the inner column. Why I am writing it into the inner column? Because there will be some adjustment. So what will be the adjustment in the capital? You will add the profit, or you will subtract the loss, and the net figure you will write here outside. You will add the profit, subtract the loss, because all the profit and loss goes to the capital account, because it is the owner's profit and owner's loss. That is why I'm writing it in the inner column. Okay. Right now I don't know the profit or loss, but I will know it eventually. Okay. Next, I have given the A's capital account effect. Then we have bank account. So this is an asset again, 80,000 rupees as my bank. Then we have furniture account. This is also asset, 40,000. Then we have land and building of 2 lakhs. Then we have purchases account. Now let's talk about it. Purchases is the goods which we are dealing with. It is the goods for which we are doing the trading. So this will go to my trading account, bachcha log. In trading account, I will write it on the debit side because I have purchased it. So to purchases account, what is the amount? It is 30,000. So purchases account is debited by 30,000. Then we have Y's account, who is my creditor. So creditor is a liability. It will go to my balance sheet. So here I will have creditor Y's account, that is 20,000. There may be more than one creditor. So if there is Z also, so I will write the Z account and the amount over there. Okay, but right now I have only one creditor. So I have mentioned it like this. Then we have sales account. Sales account is again your trading part. So the balance is on the credit side. I will write on the credit side of my trading and P&L account. So here it will come by sales account 90,000. Okay. You have to remember what side on the trial balance it is written. If it is written on the debit side, so it will be mentioned on the debit side. If it is right on the credit side, it will be mentioned on the credit side. In the same way, balance sheet is a bit reversed. Here you have the credit side because liabilities are credited and assets are debited. Here we have a reverse thing, but you can understand it. Then you can see next we have a X account. He is a debtor, that is your asset. So I will write it here. Debtors X account, that is for 90,000 rupees. Then we have rent account. Rent is an expense. Rent is an expense. So in my trading and P&L account, this is not directly related to my goods, but this is related to my factory. So in the P&L, I will debit to rent account, that is 10,000. I am giving a space. Why? Because there will be gross profit calculation over here, which I have explained in the last class. Then we have the prepaid rent account. Prepaid rent is an asset. It will go to my balance sheet. So we have prepaid rent of 10,000. Okay. Next we have outstanding salary account. This is my liability which I need to pay. So in my balance sheet, it will come as outstanding salary 25,000. Now all my items in the trial balance has been given one effect. All my trial items in the all my items there has been given the effects. Is everyone agreed to this? Are you all with me? Trial balance have been given all single effects. Now going to the last line which I have written, the closing stock. What is the closing stock, sir? Sir, it is the stock which is left in the year end. This will be used in the next year. So this is an asset. However, this is also an income which will be following, which will come in the following year. Just understand this thing. If I have purchased the goods rupees 5,000, how much goods I have purchased? It was rupees 5,000. Now just understand, okay, we are calculating the profit and loss. So what should be the calculation in that case? 5,000 rupees goods has been purchased. Out of this 5,000, 4,000 rupees cost was sold for rupees 6,000. 4,000 rupees cost goods was sold for rupees. Let's take not 6,000, but take it as 7,000. It is sold for how much? 7,000. So tell me how much goods is left? How much amount of goods is left? How much cost of goods is left? It is very simple calculation. Come on, everyone, tell me how much cost of the goods is still left with me? Very simple, sir. If I have purchased 5,000 rupees cost of goods and out of which I have sold 4,000 rupees. So I am left with now 1,000 rupees of closing stock. This is what? This is my closing stock. Now what people were doing? Let's see. On my trading account, everybody here remembers that I write all the expenses here to purchase account. So how much is the purchase? It is 5,000. How much is the purchase for? It is 5,000. How much is the sale for? So sale is of 7,000. By sales account 7,000. Now if you see the debit side and the credit side, how much is the profit? If there is no other entry, how much is the profit? So 5,000 is the purchase, sale is 7,000. So my gross profit will be 2,000 rupees, because on the credit side total is 7,000. So debit side total should also be 7,000. So my gross profit would be 7,000 minus 5,000. Balancing figure is 2,000. Do you think this is correct? Do you think this is correct? Everyone, tell me. Is it actual profit of only 2,000? The answer is no. See, 4,000 rupees of goods has been sold for 7,000. So in actual, the profit is 3,000 rupees. In actual, the profit is 3,000 rupees and not 2,000 rupees. So that means, sir, my purchases here is given by 5,000. This should be 4,000. Yes. If I write it 4,000, I will call it as adjusted purchase. What I will call? I will call it as adjusted purchase, what it was given in the previous question. But right now, if no information is given, I cannot assume it to be 4,000. So, sir, what we will do, whatever the goods are left, that is not the income for current year, but it will be the income from next year. So I will take out the closing stock from here. The closing stock will come on the credit side of your trading account. And where it will go? It will go to my balance sheet as an asset. I will write the closing stock 1000. So it will have two effects. First effect will be on your trading account on the credit side, and second effect on the asset. So, sir, do we need to pass any journal entry? The answer is yes, there is a journal entry behind it. Sir, what is the journal entry? Can you tell us? So it is closing stock. In the bracket, it is asset debit to trading account. To trading account. This will go to trading account. My trading account will be credited. As you can see, it is credited by the closing stock. And here in the asset, it will shown as a debit balance. So here closing stock is being debited. So this is the two effects of journal entry. So as I have told you, all the things in the trial balance will have only one effect, but everything after the trial balance, the notes extra given, will always have two effects. Make a thumb rule. Remember this. If you are giving only one effect, then there will be a problem. It will have two effects minimum. There could be more than two, but we will have only two effects. Okay. So going back to my example, here they have given we have a closing stock of rupees 5,000. What I will do, I will write it on the credit side of my trading and P&L account. Closing stock of 5,000. And same time I will write in my balance sheet as my closing stock, or you can just write stock, because balance sheet is being prepared at the last at the year end. So this would be obviously closing stock. So you can just write it as stock. How much is the stock? It is 5,000. So I have given the two effects of this. Now what I have to do, now I have to calculate the profit and the losses. So if there was any opening stock, I would have written in the debit side because it is the stock from the previous year. If there would be any direct expenses, I would have written on the debit side. Okay, but there is nothing as such. So let's do the total. On the credit side, there is a total of 95,000. On the credit side, there is a total of 95,000. 90 plus 5,000, that is 95,000. On the debit side also, the total should come to 95,000. Right now, what is there on the debit side? Only 30,000. So what is my gross profit? What is my gross profit? 95,000 minus 30,000, that is 65,000 is my gross profit, and it will be carried down. So I will write CD. In the P&L, this cross entry will be done by gross profit brought down 65,000. In the P&L, this gross profit will be brought down. Okay, just remember what I am doing. You have to do it. Then you can see here. Now your trading account is closed here. Nothing to do in your trading account. Now, if you can see, we have 65,000 of profit left. and we have the expenses of 10,000. I cannot see one more expense here. That is salary account. Salary account 25,000 should be here. So to salary account 25,000. This entry was missed earlier. So I have two expenses, that is rent account of 10,000 and salary of 25,000. So if I deduct, I have a profit of 65,000 minus 10,000 minus 25,000. So this should be my profit. This should be my profit. My profit should be 30,000. So if you total this side, this will come as 65,000. If you total this side, this total should also come 65,000, whichever is greater. So what is my net profit? It will be 30,000. It is my balancing figure. It is written as BF. BF means balancing figure, not boyfriend. Just remember that. And what we will do for this 30,000, where it will go? Net profit being transferred. Who will take this profit? The owner will take the profit, transferred to capital account. So we will go to balance sheet now and we will add a profit of 30,000. There is loss of 0. So I will now have a capital of 4 lakh plus 30,000. That would be 4 lakh 30,000. Now my balance sheet should match. That means the total on the debit and credit side should be same. If it is not same, the whole question is incorrect. I have done some mistake. Okay, let's do the total. Everyone, let's do the total. The debit and credit side. Tell me what is the total? Whether it is coming to be 475 on both the side, just check it out. Whether it is coming to be 475. Yes. So this way my balance sheet will tally. So now I can tell you that my question is 100% complete. 100% complete. This is the whole end-to-end accounting which I talk about. We will have many adjustments, many things which will revolve around this picture, but this is the end-to-end accounting. Right from the journal entries we started, then we did the ledger posting, we created a trial balance, and we did some adjustment of the closing stock, and then finally we prepared the trading account where we got the gross profit, that is the profit from doing the business, and then we have deducted all the business expenses from it, that is the rent and salary and other stuff. Then we got the net profit. Net profit then finally goes to my capital account, and then my balance sheet should match, and it is matching. So this is how my 100% accounting is completed. So this is a lengthy process. No dear, this is not a lengthy process. This process is something which gives you the end-to-end output. Obviously you will not get any question where you do the full accounting, but in real life, when you post the journal entry, all things are done automatically in the software. But obviously, if you're writing it down, so you have to make these ledgers and do these entries. We have various softwares. For example, Tally we have in India. We have SAP in India. So all these softwares just do the journal entry and everything is done automatically. The trial balance is prepared, the balance sheet is prepared, the P&L account, trading account, everything is prepared. But obviously we need to know the process by our hand. That is why we are doing this. I know your exams are going to be MCQ. You don't need to prepare all these accounts, but your concept should be 100% clear. That is why I have spent a lot of time from your journal entries to this. Now I will take a very less time doing the remaining things if this is clear in your mind. If you have any confusion in this, just revisit the lectures which are already available for you guys. Okay, you can revisit them, and in the next class we are going to talk about the more detailed way of the small topics which will come around. Okay, these though those all will be the small topics, but this was an 100% accounting stuff which we did right now. Okay, so my advice to all of you, you can take one question as an example and solve it from start till the end. We can discuss it in the next class. I will just find that question for you once again. Page number 113, you will have illustration number 22. You have given to journalize the following transaction in the books of Gaurav, post them into the ledger and prepare the trial balance. This is just up to the trial balance, but I am saying try the things after that. Try to prepare the balance sheet and P&L also, because I have already taught you that. Okay, so we have various transactions. Prepare the journal ledgers, prepare the ledger account, journal entries, do the trial balance and do the trading and P&L account, and then we can see that are you able to do that. Okay, in the next class we will discuss this question and we will solve this from your journal entry to your trial balance, and then we can go to the adjustments of your final accounts. What are the adjustments? What are the errors? How can we identify the errors? How can we rectify the errors? That's all we need to think, we need to talk about. We have different type of cash accounts: double column cash book, triple column cash book, purchase ledgers, subsidiary ledgers, sales ledgers. All these things are small topics which I will cover it on later on. But obviously, the main concept should be developed by all the lectures till today. Okay, so that is all from my side. Thank you. See you all in the next class. Bye. Yes, all the lectures are available up to date. Okay, guys. Bye. Take care.